The story begins. The year 2048 was the time when there was nothing to live on the earth and countries were fighting with each other to get whatever resources were not left. During this, we are shown the Red family, who had got a luxurious mansion. The whole family was very happy after coming here. Preeti's family consisted of his wife Abby and their son. Only then did they come to know that there are 13 out of 20 who were brought here. Small experiments will be done for 39 years. The entire team of memorandum scientists was present for this. The next morning we are shown the professor's site of this project. Those who tell that in the coming 10 years everything on the earth will end. Nothing will be left and then humans will not be able to live on the earth. At that time we have this feat way, and that is after living on the land of Titan. What else is there, which is a very big moon? PK at this time it is not possible for humans to live there. There it rains methane gas and nitrogen gas is present in the air. There are too many pigs there, and if we want humans to live there, then we have to make some changes in which humans are there. That's why we have families here that we have handpicked from over 5,000 people. It was here that the hippie we saw at the beginning of the story was brought to the mansion by Sandy. Reed says that we all joined the memorandum of our own free will. After this, the doctor takes it with him. He is injected. He is told that in a week he will be given many such inductions which will change his body, and his body will be able to get more nitrogen than oxygen. There was a party in the cottage house. His wife, whose name was also. He had drunk too much alcohol, which made his health worse. When Reed was going with his wife, Reed's wife Abby gives. He had a very high fever. After a few days, everyone is brought to a pool of water for an experiment to see who can hold their breath for the longest time. Everyone had come out one by one, but look, the fair girl kept sitting inside the water for 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, the girl started suffocating. It comes out of the water, but it was inside the water. Slowly his heartbeat was also decreasing. She was watching his heart rate while staying outside. Before anything happens, Ray comes out on his own. Everyone claps for him because he spent the most time in the water. A few days after this we are shown that Ray was brought in for surgery. The day his surgery is done, he was not in his bed at night. Whenever his wife Abby gives, he is sitting in the kitchen applying ice to his lung. He was feeling very hot. Even after this, her call makes it even colder. Tells Abby that I can't feel the pinky beat. This meant that the people being prepared to be sent to Titan were being affected in exactly the same way as the vets. It was too cold on Titan and there was a need for such a variety. Greece should not feel the cold at all. But still, the biggest challenge they had to face was methane gas nitrogen. All of them are said to float in the water with methane gas. Along with this, special types of masks are worn. As soon as nitrogen falls, they run outside wearing that mask. Actually, they were being prepared for Titan. Somehow many days pass by. Thar he drinks in 3 sand pots, he was having hair fall. That means his hair was getting too much. There was a boy here, all this was happening with him too. Now everyone understood that whatever is happening with them is the result of the medicines and animals that were being used to send them to Titan. Now a boy dies here. Seeing that girl dying like this, everyone was very upset. Everyone gets scared because exactly the same medicines were being given to them too. That means their lives were also in danger. Everyone had gathered at the cottage house at night, talking about all this. That's why a friend from there gets angry. He also attacks his wife. Actually, this was happening with him ever since the experiment was being done on him. Everyone gets upset seeing this. The next morning comes to the doctor's house. She tells them. The girl was dead, she was actually ill, she was actually already ill. This is the reason why he died and not because of any experiment. But Greg knew something was wrong. He vomits the same night. Was sleeping in it. His wife takes his blood sample as the ABP is to be shown to a doctor the next day. He was underwater. His team had also started landing. He gets very scared because of this. On the other hand, Abby takes his blood sample and goes to the lab. When she tests it, she finds out that many such chemicals have been included during the raid, which was not told earlier. Abby talks to the project professor head about all this, but he doesn't tell her anything. American's eyes are operated so that he can see even in the dark. When he came back home, blood started coming from his eyes. He is again taken to the hospital. Then they again try to talk to the professor. But they do not answer any of his words and Mika takes the car and goes to the place where the files of the deal were kept. Experiments are being done on China. When she checks there, she comes to know that the girl had died, about whom it was told that she died due to some disease or that she died because of these experiments. On her own, Abby sees the professor talking with the NASA guys. They were accusing them that they had caused such injuries to humans, which is completely wrong. They have to close everything soon. He is also going to be punished because a case has been registered against him. The next day the professor goes to the factory house. He tells her and Cabby that someone had done all the experiments so that they could send people to Titan. She says, I don't know anything. What will be the result of this? Everyone's DNA is different, so that I don't know what is going to happen to everyone's presence again. But yes, there is such a person in whom all these things can be tolerated and changes are taking place in you in many ways. They say when all the experiments will be completed. 3 experiments are being done. His body will be transformed into a Titan creator, who will be called Homo Titan, but we do not know who will be like because all of them are different and do. Deed and Poha got more upset after hearing all these things. The next post had also arrived. Of his eyes. Core surgery is performed. How could he see even in the dark now? Now he could feel things even while sitting in the water. After this, all the people on whom the experiments were done die. Only Reed and his friends survive. When Red's wife Abby comes to see him in the lab, she is surprised to see that Nate has now changed 3. There was not a single hair on his head. No one sees his thorny mud, Abby, and his son and recognizes them. But now he could not talk to them because his case had changed. Now he could speak in a very soft voice, knowing the frequency of the self. The sound the white common man could not hear. Reed is then sent home. Right home at night. He also has a friend. There was blood on his hands. She also gets angry and kills her husband. When Lekha comes to know about this, she comes to take Reed and his friend because now it was a danger to everyone. Red's friend was killed by the military, but he kills them all with his power. Some run away after saving their lives. Abby also goes after Reed. Reed was ever so in love with Cabby that he could read Abby's mind when she held Abby's hand, which was her new power. Yes, one could read one's mind now. Then Minnie's. The helicopter arrives. He had surrendered himself to them at the behest of Abby. Look again, this was brought to the lab. There the professor belongs to OBC, the category. You have to put the tipping section on Reed, which will make Fred forget about his old life, and that's good for Reed because now we're going to send him to Titan. When Abby approaches Ray, she injects him. although Reed was dissuading him that he did not want to call his old memories. As soon as she does this, she takes her friend from there and goes with her son. After they leave, Reed attacks all the soldiers there. Someone had returned home after killing them. Actually, Abby didn't put the injection in his chest so that he wouldn't be sent to Titan. When he comes back home, he is very happy to meet his wife and son. But then the military people had come there. Professor was also with him. He says Reed has to go with us. We are going to send it to Titan because now it can never become human. Neither one can live on the ground. If it wants to survive, it will have to go to Titan. Abby also understood this thing. He rightly said that perhaps the time has come for you to leave. It has to go back. V was sent to Titan. It is shown after some time of this accident. His lab was taken over by Reed's wife Abby, and her friend was doing research on new experiments so that humans could be sent to Titan. One night KP's son was playing outside.